57 light-years from the fragile safety of Earth, suspended in the absolute black of the Virgo constellation, floats a cosmic anomaly that shouldn't exist. It is GJ504b, a colossus 4 times more massive than Jupiter, glowing with a ghastly, radioactive magenta hue. This is not the welcoming pink of a terrestrial sunset, but the feverish, self-luminous glare of a world radiating its own primordial heat. To even conceive of landing on this gas giant is to invite a terrifying psychological reckoning. There is no solid ground here, no bedrock to plant a flag, no physical anchor for the human mind. To descend into GJ504b is to step off the precipice of reality. Your spacecraft would pierce a thick, suffocating shroud of heavy, superheated gases, plunging into a vertical abyss of endless falling. Sensory deprivation would instantly morph into sensory horror. Outside your viewport, the sky would bleed from a hazy, bruised violet into a deep, claustrophobic magenta. The temperature rises to a blistering 460 degrees Fahrenheit, the heat of a roaring, industrial oven. You are not landing, you are sinking into a pressurized womb of liquid metal, drowning in an ocean of gas. But the true terror is psychological. Human sanity is built on boundaries up and down, sky and soil, beginning and end. On GJ504b, those boundaries dissolve. You would feel the crushing weight of a gravity 4 times stronger than Earth's, pulling at your bones, dragging you deeper into an infinite, glowing fog. The mind, stripped of visual landmarks, begins to hallucinate in the magenta static. The silence of the void is replaced by the low, subsonic thrum of the planet's atmospheric currents, a deep, resonant vibration that feels less like weather and more like a colossal, alien heartbeat. We fear the dark, but GJ504b teaches us to fear the light. It is a world that glows in its own eternal, suffocating twilight, a beautiful nightmare designed to swallow human consciousness whole. To touch this planet is to realize our profound insignificance, to understand that in the grand architecture of the cosmos, we are fragile, flesh-bound trespassers, entirely uninvited. To touch GJ504b is to negotiate with a beautiful, planetary executioner. We call it the magenta planet, a cherry blossom specter glowing in the interstellar dark. But do not let the soft, neon pink hue fool you. This color is not a welcoming light, it is the lingering, feverish heat of a world still radiating from its own violent birth. To attempt a landing here is to invite a slow, crushing descent into a cosmic furnace. There is no solid ground to greet your boots. No bedrock, no soil, no sanctuary. GJ504b is a gas giant of monstrous proportions, holding up to 25 times the mass of Jupiter. If you dare to pierce its outer veil, you are immediately plunged into an atmospheric nightmare of suffocating density. Your descent begins through high-altitude clouds composed not of water, but of vaporized, crystalline salts. They drift like a glittering, caustic fog, scraping against your hull with a quiet, grinding hiss. As you sink deeper, the illusion of beauty dissolves into pure, suffocating terror. The temperature rises to a blistering 550 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a dry, stagnant heat, like the inside of an industrial kiln, baking the very air around you. The atmosphere is a toxic, swirling soup of methane, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and lethal hydrogen sulfide. To breathe here is to inhale liquid fire and poison. But it is the gravity that will ultimately claim you. At nearly 30 times the pull of Earth, the invisible hand of GJ504b will seize your vessel. Your bones will feel like lead, your metal hull will begin to groan and buckle under a pressure that mimics the deepest trenches of our oceans. The deeper you go, the darker it gets, as the magenta glow fades into a pitch-black abyss of unimaginable density. You do not land on GJ504b. You are swallowed by it, compressed into a microscopic speck of dust, and integrated into the planet's eternal, crushing core. It is a monument to human insignificance, a reminder that in the grand architecture of the cosmos, some worlds are meant only to be feared from afar. Imagine a drop of neon blood, suspended in the absolute, freezing nothingness of the cosmos. 57 light-years from the fragile warmth of Earth, GJ504b hangs like a brilliant, radioactive jewel. To the distant eye, it is a breathtaking masterpiece, a majestic sphere of soft magenta and glowing violet, shimmering against the black canvas of space. It looks like a sanctuary. A cosmic oasis. But do not let the beauty deceive you. The universe has a cruel way of wrapping its deadliest traps in the most seductive colors. In the cold logic of astrophysics, this world should not exist as it does. By all laws of planetary aging, GJ504b should have died eons ago, its fire spent, its surface faded into a cold, dark, forgotten husk. Yet, it refuses to die. Deep within its bloated belly, a mysterious, feverish engine burns at a constant, suffocating 460 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a planetary anomaly, a world trapped in a state of eternal, feverish youth, fueled by a relentless internal heat that defies explanation. It is a beautiful, glowing paradise from afar, but up close, it is a crushing, toxic furnace. If you were to descend into this neon nightmare, the illusion of beauty would instantly shatter into absolute horror. As your spacecraft pierces the upper atmosphere, the soft pink glow transforms into a violent, churning sea of superheated hydrogen and helium. There is no solid ground to greet you. There is no rock to stand on. There is only an endless, bottomless descent into a crushing abyss. The atmospheric pressure here is a monstrous, invisible titan. Long before you could ever reach the planet's core, the sheer weight of the gas would collapse your hull like an aluminum can in a giant's fist. The air itself is a toxic, swirling soup, thick with lethal compounds that would dissolve your lungs in a single, agonizing breath. Outside your viewport, the wind howls with the fury of 1,000 hurricanes, whipped into a frenzy by the planet's intense internal heat. Here, in the heart of the magenta giant, you are nothing. You are a microscopic speck of dust being swallowed by a beautiful, glowing leviathan. It is a sobering reminder of our own insignificance. We search the stars for life, for meaning, for a second home, only to find worlds like GJ504b magnificent, terrifying, and utterly hostile to our existence. It is a masterpiece of cosmic horror, a place where beauty and death are fused together in a silent, eternal scream. To descend into the magenta abyss of GJ504b is to willingly step into a cosmic furnace designed to erase the very concept of human existence. Imagine a world where the sky does not merely darken, but suffocates you in a thick, glowing fog of molten pink and deep, bruised lavender. This is not a sanctuary of color, it is a thermal trap. At over 460 degrees Celsius, the atmosphere is a living, breathing engine of superheated gas. If your vessel's hulls were to breach, the air would not just rush out, the heat would reach inside, boiling your blood instantly beneath your skin, turn your suit into a melting shroud, and liquefy your bones before you could even scream into the void. But the physical torment is only the prelude to a deeper, more primal horror. As you sink deeper into the planetary soup, the pressure rises to crushing, catastrophic levels. The sky above ceases to exist, replaced by a suffocating, pressurized ocean of heavy hydrogen and helium. There is no solid ground to claim victory upon, no rock to plant a flag. You are falling eternally through a warm, glowing nightmare, trapped in a perpetual descent toward a core that will flatten your spacecraft like an aluminum can under an iron heel. In this endless, glowing twilight, the human mind begins to fracture. The magenta glow is beautiful from a distance, but up close, it is an unnatural, mocking light that never fades, casting no true shadows, only a sickening, perpetual glare. It strips away your circadian rhythm, leaving your brain starved of darkness, starved of the cool, quiet peace of Earth. You are suspended in a hostile, alien womb that refuses to let you sleep, forcing you to watch your system slowly fail, one by one. Here, we are forced to confront our ultimate insignificance. We are fragile creatures of water and clay, trying to conquer a giant that does not even recognize our existence. GJ504b does not hate us, it is simply indifferent. It is a beautiful, glowing monument to our limitations, a silent warning whispered across 57 light-years of empty space. Some depths are meant to be feared, and some worlds are meant to be left entirely alone. In the freezing, absolute dark of the cosmos, the human mind is hardwired to seek a beacon. We are creatures of the light, biologically drawn to warmth, to color, to any vibrant spark that promises salvation in the void. And there she floats, GJ504b. A breathtaking, glowing jewel of deep magenta, radiating a soft, hypnotic warmth against the obsidian canvas of space. She is the ultimate cosmic siren. Beautiful. Inviting. But beauty in the deep universe is almost always a mask for malice. To look upon this planet is to feel an instinctual, dangerous pull. You want to touch it. You want to descend into that warm, pink glow. But there is no landing on the magenta planet. There is no solid ground to claim, no bedrock to break your descent. To cross her threshold is to enter a psychological purgatory from which there is no escape. As your vessel breaches the upper atmosphere, the illusion of safety instantly shatters. You do not touch down, you simply begin to fall. You fall through a suffocating, blinding fog of vaporized glass and heavy metallic clouds, painted in a sickening, inescapable shade of pink. The silence of space is replaced by the deafening, violent roar of superheated winds. The temperature rises rapidly, climbing to a hellish 500 degrees Fahrenheit, turning your ship into a pressurized oven. And still, you keep falling. This is the manifestation of our deepest, most primal nightmare, the eternal plummet. There is no bottom to hit, only an endless, downward plunge into a crushing abyss. With every mile you sink, the invisible weight of the atmosphere grows heavier, pressing down on your hull with the force of a collapsing ocean. The magenta light slowly dies, choked out by the thickening, toxic air, plunging you into a dense, boiling darkness. You are trapped in a planetary vice, being slowly squeezed to death by an invisible giant. The very air around you is heavy enough to liquefy bone, yet there is nothing to grab onto, nothing to stop the descent. You are falling forever into a burning furnace, deceived by a beautiful facade, only to realize too late that the siren did not offer a sanctuary. She offered a grave.